And good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Friday. Friday. We made it through the first week of March, folks. Congratulations. It is Friday, March 6th. And this is the Make Us and Move Us podcast. How are you doing today, folks? Today, we're going to talk about how to become the go to shirt vendor in your town. So let me hear all of your stuff when you have to say that. Now, if it's your first time here or long time here, we have some stuff for you. First, go like, subscribe, share. Sharing's caring. Spread the word. Um, I need to know who you are, where you're from, what's in your cup, and what the weather is like in your area. Follow that up with your five things. What are five things that you are going to accomplish today? So, for us, Corey's already in meetings this morning. And then while she's doing that, she's actually picking up supplies because we've got boxes and ink and other stuff that she's picking up. We had stores close. We have to order supplies. We have to press shirts. We have meetings this morning and this afternoon, and then we still have the normal stuff: pull orders, pack orders, do all of that fun things. As far as it's weather here is it's rainy. We had a big booming storm come through at about four-ish this morning, and it was made the car alarms go off. That's how much noise it was making. So that's what we're rocking with here. Let us check in and see how everybody is doing this morning. Renee, good morning. 48, foggy and gray Chicago, water in the bottle, tea in the mug. Wait for that storm is coming. Barb, good morning. North Central Minnesota. 35, winter room mix, water in the cup, five things, invoicing, 3D printing, digitizing, sewing alterations, and work on the website. Very, very nice. Hi, Renee. Happy Friday from Barb. Hi, Barb. You too. What's up, Chuck? Good morning to you. Five things from Renee. Five car and for service, artwork, invoicing, admin work, and training. Love it, love it, love it. Ooh, what do we got here? We got spam bots. What do you see? What do you see? What do you see, Brian? Am I missing one? I think everything's there. Matt, good morning to you. Maybe that one. That might be it, looking back at it. Alex, good morning. 48. Snow is almost gone. Yeah, ours is rain. It's rain. The creek is overfilling. We'll see how bad it floods, but I'll take it. Yeah, good. Look forward. Nonstop sump pumps. That's right. There we go. That's right. In morning, Renee from Alex. All right. So what are we rocking with today? Um, we've got we've got quite a bit. Like when we look at stuff for the day, even take our five things out of it, we still you ever have that? Friday we tried to leave open so we can, close appointments, pick things up, and it just filled up really quick today. Anybody else get like that? And just never stops, which is great. I'm fine with that, right? I'm good. I'm good to go with that. Okay. So today we are going to talk about how to become the go-to shirt vendor in your town because it seems like there's always that one person in town who gets the call first, and it's not because they're the cheapest, and it's not because they have, this big flashy storefront with a huge neon sign. They get the call first because why? Because people trust them, right? They trust them to make the entire process easy. They trust them to get things done. When a business or when a coach panics or a business hires or a fundraiser needs merch, that same name just keeps popping up. And I know a lot of at-home apparel decorators can be stuck in that random order mode, one big week, one dead week. And that constant feeling like you just have to post more, discount more, or hustle more. But that go-to vendor isn't hustling harder. They're just positioned better and they're more predictable to work with. So today I feel it's kind of like a blueprint for becoming, that default printer, not, one of the many printers, not the, I know a girl who makes shirts, but the vendor that people confidently recommend because you know they don't want drama, they just want stuff done. So we talk about some trust and some visibility and some simple systems that customers actually care about, and then how you can become that name that gets said in the meetings. Because what are we going to do? We want to build your reputation, and we want to build it so it actually is built by the decision makers, right? Like, hey, they were great to work with. Hey, easy to work with. Hey, they met and exceeded our expectations. So, tip one, all right, is just pick, a home-based market so people know what to call you for. The go-to vendor is easy to describe. If if people can't explain you in one sentence, they are not going to refer you. And a lot of at-home decorators, accidentally look like what? I'll do a little bit of everything, right? Which can really make you sound like a hobbyist, even though your work is solid. Being the go-to, starts with just a clear home base. Teams, schools, local businesses. Done. Right? And this isn't about like limiting your income or anything like that. It's just about making your reputation sticky. When you're known for serving a specific kind of customer, those referrals just become automatic. People don't have to think. They just, connect you to the need that they have. You know, your home-based market, that's also going to help you, talk like a specialist. Instead of saying, "Hey, I make shirts," you say, "I help teams and local businesses get clean, consistent apparel without the hassle." That statement matches what customers care about: speed, clarity, consistency, and really no headaches. And once people start associating your name with a category, you stop being searched and start being shared. So some examples of this, someone stopped posting just random product variety and they focused their message on team spirit wear and local business uniforms. With a month, a coach referred her to a booster club because her niche was obvious. Another one, they chose, youth leagues and service companies and started using that language in every conversation. A contractor heard him at a chamber event, said, "Oh, that's exactly what I need." So for this one, right, we got you an action step, and I'm going to go ahead and put it down here in the bottom. I just need you to write your one sentence identity and use it everywhere for the next 30 days. And it's going to be, I help blank get blank without blank. So is, um, you know, I help teams and local businesses get consistent apparel without the hassle. All right. I will copy that and put it down here in the comments. So that way you have that to right click, copy paste on. All right. Next up, number two is we want you to become the easiest vendor to say yes to. You know, a lot of places they don't pick vendors on quality alone, right? They pick vendors on based on how stressful the decision feels. If ordering feels confusing, they're slow or unpredictable, they're going to choose someone else. Even if your work is way better. The go-to vendor, they win because the buying decision just feels safe. So you need to remove that decision friction, you know, clear turnaround, clear next step, a clear, here's what I need from you, clear payment expectations. When you make it obvious how your process works from the customer's perspective, they relax. And you know what relaxed customers do? They buy. Now, a lot of decorators can lose deals because they talk like a friend doing a favor instead of a vendor running a real business. You know, the go-to vendor right now, they don't over-explain. They just guide the customer through the journey. They give options and they move the customer forward. When your buying experience is easy, you get you get yes answers and fewer ghosted messages. So, example of this, at home apparel decorator, started replying with, here's two options: basic tees or team packs, tees plus hoodies. Which one do you want? Well, her close rate jumped because customers weren't stuck trying to make 50 decisions. Here's your options. Let's go. Another one created a simple intake checklist and told local businesses, hey, send your logos plus your sizes plus your deadline, and we'll handle the rest. And owners loved it because it just felt professional and fast. So, for this action step, we are going to create a 3-line yes path message that you can paste. Turnaround is blank. I need blank from you. Your next step is blank, right? I'm going to go ahead, copy that one, and paste it down here. So that way you have it ready to roll. There. Now that's posted in there. All right. On to number 3, right? Let's win locally by being present before you even need the sale. Now, the go-to vendor is top of mind because a lot of times they're just locally present when no one is buying. Most a lot of decorators disappear until, they need orders. Then what happens? They start posting like crazy and wonder why nothing's sticking. But local reputation is built in those quiet weeks, not just the busy ones. You know, being present, that doesn't mean being annoying. Just means showing up, like a local business partner does. Congratulate teams, comment on small business wins, sharing community events, celebrating openings or anniversaries or big seasons. When people see you, consistently, you become familiar. And familiarity, what does that do? That turns into trust. And this is how you can also stop competing with the internet. People can order online from anywhere, but they can't order local relationships from anywhere. So if your name is already in their world, you're the default choice when that need appears for them. And the goal is just simple. When someone says, who does shirts? Your name should be the first one that pops up without anyone thinking. So, examples of this, at home apparel decorator, consistently commented on league posts and shared game day hype without selling. When the league needed fundraiser merch, the board recommended her because she felt like she was part of it. Another one regularly posted local business spotlight shoutouts. A cleaning company owner saw it for weeks, then messaged when they hired new staff because he already felt trustworthy. So for this action step, you know, let's just choose let's just choose 5 local organizations and 5 local businesses and engage 5 minutes a day for the next 30 days. Not selling, just presence. Okay. Now, before we get into 4 and 5, let's go back to the comments and check in and see how everyone is doing. What have I missed there? Oh, you guys are rocking and rolling through it there. Tim, morning to you. Signing the lease today if I can find time to. Way to go, Tim. Good job at that. Lady Mahogany, good morning to you. Jerry, good morning. Uh, let's see what else we have here. Jeff, good morning to you. Everybody saying hi, Jeff, back and forth. Mary, Jerry, everybody there. Okay, we're good, 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 good. We got our stuff there. Jerry says our elevator pitch is muddy. Let's clean it up, Jerry. And Barb says, I think it's a lot about business impressions, how you present your business, professional, reliable, quality, and service. I think you need to choose your business name wisely. Absolutely. And some of it, like us, Fat Dad Print Co. We get remembered because of that. I couldn't tell you how many shows that we've went to, how many things, and it was because they remembered the name with it. It depends on what you're looking for. Leisure lounge maker, like for us, for apparel, Sanmar, SNS. Those are to go to right off the bat. Sanmar and SNS. Nora, good morning to you. Communication and follow up. Know your business and have a plan. Absolutely. Michelle, glad we could help with that. All right. Renee, off to catch the rest of your team. Off to the dealership. Have a great week. Renee, good luck. Have fun at the dealership. Can't wait to hear. You're very welcome, Jerry. Let's see. Danielle, good morning to you. All right. Let's get back into 4 and 5. So, number 4 is, you know, let's become the vendor who communicates like a pro. And this is where a lot of people can fail at, right? If you want to be the go to, your communication has to be the reason that people love you. Not, hey, they're nice, but hey, they keep me informed and I never wonder what's happening. Customers don't need constant updates. They just need certainty. The vendor who can give certainty, they become the vendor that people keep. Now, most customer drama comes from silence, you know, not, no timeline reminders, no, hey, we're on track, no, hey, here's a pickup day, and then the customer, they fill the gap. And when you don't know that, what do they fill in the gap with? Anxiety and messages, probably 30 of them. The go-to vendor, they prevent that. And how do they prevent that? By just, being calmly proactive. And this is where, you can outperform a lot of other shops. Some big shops can be slow to respond, and they can, they can feel impersonal. You can feel responsive. You can feel organized, and you can make it all easy for them without being available 24/7. You're not being a call center. You're just being clear in your message. When the customers know what to expect, they relax. And, relaxed customers, well, what do? They become repeat customers. And what do repeat customers do? They create word of mouth. So, some examples of this, decorator started sending a simple order confirmed plus timeline plus next update message. You know, Parents just stopped spamming her because they knew exactly what would happen next. Another one sent out a pickup window message with one photo of sorted bags and one sentence. If anything is missing, message me by tomorrow. That one line just reduced chaos and increased confidence. So for this action step, we just need to add two proactive messages to every order. Order confirmed and ready pickup info. Same format every single time. All right. And number 5 is let's build a referral engine on purpose. We're not going to hope for referrals. We're going to trigger them. And the go-to vendor, they don't get lucky with referrals. You know what they do? They engineer them. After a successful order, customers are most excited within that first 48. And that's when they're showing off friends and posting photos and talking about how great the experience was. If you don't prompt referrals in that moment, you're leaving, reputation growth to chance. And the truth is, people love recommending someone who makes them look good. Coaches want to look organized. Business owners want to look professional. PTO leaders want to look like they ran the best fundraiser ever. So if you made their job easier, they want to tell someone, and your job is to give them the sentence. You know, you also need to plant the next use case, without sounding salesy. Not, hey, what else can I sell you? But hey, if your team ever needs stores, staff apparel, or event shirts, we're here to handle it. And that just that reminder just expands your footprint inside their network. And this is where the go-to status becomes permanent. You stop hunting every orders, and orders start finding you. We looked last night. We have not posted anything on the Fat Dad page for 266 days. 266 days. We have not posted anything since we've taken over TRW. We were focused on that. We weren't doing retail orders, and we are still on pace to have one of the best springs ever because through repeat customers. And we're not trying it. They're like, hey, I heard you did this for this. We'd like to get in on this. It's word of mouth, reputation. That's what we got to do. So, some other examples of this, after a league order, a decorator just sent a message. Hey, if you know of another team that needs, an easy merch setup, I'd love an intro. She got 2 referrals that week because she asked at the right time. Another one, after finishing, a uniform order, included a quick referral card with one line. Need shirts for your crew? Just text me. And the contractor handed to another business owner at a job site. So for this action step, we just need to create one sentence referral and use it after every successful delivery. And what is that? I'm going to copy and paste it there. If you know a team or business that needs easy shirts, I'd love an intro. That's it. We're going to copy that and paste that down here. Oh, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to go this way with it. There we go. We're going to copy that. So that way you have that down here. There's that. Now you have that one. Yep, going in there. So to recap all this, what are we going to do? Well, we're going to choose a clear home base so people know what to call you for. We're going to remove buying friction. So saying yes feels super easy for them. We're going to stay local and present before you need the scale. We're going to communicate proactively so customers feel certainty. And we're going to trigger referrals on purpose so that reputation just compounds. Now, you do not become the go to vendor by being the most talented. You become the go to vendor by being the easiest to trust, the easiest to work with, and the easiest to recommend. And this is completely achievable from home. You don't need a storefront. You don't need permission from anyone to start acting like this, right? Just just pick one move from that we talked about today. Tighten one sentence, clean up your yes path, start your referral trigger. That moment, your town stops saying, "Hey, I know a person who makes shirts," and they start saying, "Hey, call Todd and Corey. They're the ones." Your whole business can change, and you absolutely can get there. Now, that's what we have for you today. We do this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. On Monday's episode, what are we talking about? Spring vendor shows. We're coming to that time of year, and we're going to talk about what really makes you stand out at those. So that's what we're doing on Monday. On Tuesday with Todd next Tuesday, I think we're going to go live and do some Flock and Puff HTV. I think that's the plan. I will say Magic Flock is getting dangerously low. I don't know. My gut says we're going to run out before our shipment gets here. The shipment was delayed a couple weeks. That is not good. So if you need Magic Flock, I would order it now because I think we're going to run out. Okay. With this, any questions, comments, concerns before we get you out of here for the day? Great info, clear and concise. We try to be. Uh, Alex, I don't know if it's me, but when I get orders from like schools, leagues, etc., I always get stuck with the person that thinks they know everything. They know nothing about the industry. They drive me nuts. What would I do? Hey, there was the rest of it. I knew it was going to come there. What would I do? Hey, stay in your lane. This is why you bring me in. This is what we do. If you knew how to do it, you'd do it yourself. And sometimes you just have to fire people. It took us 3 years to get into one of the schools. And even then, it was difficult because they thought they knew everything, and we had to break it down and show them. And we ended up dealing with other people in it. We're like, is there somebody else that we can talk to that maybe we can explain this better to? And when they actually looked at it, they're like, why the hell have we waited so long for this? That's why. That person. That's why. And we were at the PTO meeting last night for the school, and they were talking. They said, "Hey, can we do a spring fundraiser?" And I said, "Absolutely. Here's the thing. Let's tie it into field day because spring fundraisers for apparel for school, they traditionally haven't done the greatest for us. Reason being is because you're coming to the end of the year, kids are growing. Is that going to fit them at the beginning of next school year? So that one's kind of there. When we tie it to field day, then at least there's some other things in it. So we're like, yeah, we can do it. But they were talking about, how excited they were with the amount that they made in the fall. We're like, yeah, pretty simple, like $1,200. That's what you guys made, and they didn't have to do anything, and they loved it as a fundraiser. From that, we've picked up another 6 schools because of the PTO and PTO president's talk. So you just got to keep after it and do it. It is super frustrating. It was super frustrating when they do that. But we're like, hey, here's what it is. This is what I do. You fundraise, you do what you need to do. I'll do what I need to do. Glad we could help more. Glad we could help. All right. We're gonna wrap this up. We got a lot to do. Mentorship community year call starts in about 34 minutes. So we'll get that going. I'll probably be in and out of that one because we do have meetings here going on, and I'm gonna try and FaceTime in on one. So everybody else, have an amazing weekend. We'll do this next Monday, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure to like and subscribe and share. And until next time, I gotta find buttons. There they are. Peace, love, press on. We will see you then.